too handsome for the camera.
No, you can't be talking about me.
So what's your name again?
Brian,
How old are you?
I'm 65.
You're 65. How long have you been homeless?
Since 2012, I was in Tennessee, and I come to Orlando, and I lost my ID. It was a Tennessee state ID. I'm addressing the ID thing through it, identity,
Okay.
but
Do you go already to the DMV?
no, I went there, and they need to see a document. They see a birth certificate, or I've already been there.
Okay. Where were you born?
I was born on a little reservation in Canada, and
Oh,
that's
wow.
why my situation is just a little
It's a
unique.
bit different, yeah.
I'm going through an attorney to get my ID back, and it's in process. I talked with them Thursday.
Okay.
I just have to wait. I can't pursue a job. I can't get into any of these shelters. I can't even take a shower. It's put me in a really ugly position. I go to a meeting house up here. I do everything people suggest, and it seems to be working because for the time I've been here, 2 months or so, I've not wanted to drink.
So how long have you been in Orlando then?
A little over 2 months.
2 months. So you came from Tennessee over here.
Yeah.
What was there a reason? Do you have family over here or?
No, I had lived here once before. Tennessee just wasn't working for me anymore. I was working for a hotel in Nashville, the Grand Hyatt. I worked there for almost 2 years.
Almost 2
as a
years.
lobby attendant. I have years experience in landscaping, janitorial, hotels, dishwasher.
Okay.
But what holds me back is the ID.
You
When
lose
I
it.
met with this indignity about February 25th, I didn't know how long it was going to take. I knew it was going to take some time. But I started filling applications, and it wasn't a week. I got the Omni Hotel Resort called me. We talked about my experience. They wanted me to come in for an interview, and I had to turn them down because I don't have an ID.
Wow, that is a really tough situation. How did you lose it? Or
I
someone
don't
just-
know. I came here from Knoxville. I had relapsed, and my relapse continued here, and I just lost it. It could be worse.
I know.
You
Yeah.
know, I could be drinking. I could be in jail. I don't
Okay.
trust very many people, especially being out here. I rely on the Alcoholics Anonymous Fellowship,
Okay.
12-step program.
Do you have any family around?
No,
here, or-
I have nobody here other than my AA family. I learned a while back to just one day at a time, one
day
moment
at
at
a
a time.
That's
That's how I live my life right now. It's just right now. There's nothing I can do about the ID. I've done what I can. Now I just have to be patient. I pray about it and just, hope that day comes when, it'll open up so much
It
for
will.
me. I've been able to do it with the people in the fellowship and have not found it necessary to take that drink.
Wow.
Have not wanted or desired to take that drink. I mean,
Wow.
look at where I'm at. Direct result of my drinking. I lost everything, and the ID was the top of the cake. It's really put me in, I've faced a lot of frustration, self-pity. I suffer from depression, anxiety. Like, I found a place, which I'm not gonna name, but I sleep good. Nobody knows I'm there. I feel safe. But I go to a lot of meetings. When I'm talking to people, I try to be as honest as I can and tell them where I'm at, tell them what I'm doing, how I'm feeling, what I'm thinking, because,
Yeah.
Otherwise they can't help me.
What are your goals right now? Do you have any goals? I mean, besides
If the ID,
getting the ID.
If the ID day comes, pursue a job. I mean,
Okay.
I got the opportunity just yesterday. A man said, I need some weeds pulled. I said, sure, do it right now if you want. I don't care. I've always had a strong work ethic. I've always worked. There was a time in Nashville when I was homeless, just after my divorce, and ended up in Nashville, because both times I went home, I relapsed. My family, my mom and dad, they're gone. My grandparents are gone. I was very close to my grandparents. And My sisters and brother are very supportive, but they don't understand. They don't understand that, once I take that drink, it's done. It's over. I will not stop unless it gets bad. Like jail or being dead. I mean,
Wow.
I try to be grateful. And,
That's awesome.
I always try to look for opportunities to, if I can help someone. Like even a smile or just sitting listening to somebody or, like yesterday, the man, I did about maybe 3 hours work, and the man was very generous, very generous. And it's put me in a better frame of mind today because I don't know how these other guys do it, but it's awful walking around. You got no money.
Yeah.
You hope to hope to find enough to buy a coffee or just, I don't beg from people. I don't bother people. Like in Nashville, it was big. The homeless would carry signs. They'd stand outside stores. I don't do that. I accept it. It's the consequences of that drink. It's not the best situation, but like I said, it could be worse.
It could
be
be
a hell of a
worse.
lot worse.
That is
And that's
true.
what I try and look at. The support I have, it means so much. This young lady, she comes up to me after a meeting last night. And she offered me some Chinese food. It was really good, too.
I love Chinese
Because
food.
I'm not starving.
But it's food, yeah.
He always provides. He speaks to me. People can think whatever they want, but he reveals himself to me through nature, through the kindness of others. Just the fact that I woke up with a breath of life and I'm sober.
I love talking to people like you who knows and can give advice to other people who could be in the same situation or about to be in the situation, and they can listen to you, your advice, your experience, and then they can do better.
Oh, I don't give advice. I'll suggest things. My life is pretty messed up. I suggest what I've learned. But one of the greatest gifts he's given me is, we meet once a month, me and a group of others. We go feed the homeless.
That is
Try
awesome.
and give them hope, to lift them up, to pick them up, because I know very well where they're at.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of, drug addiction, mental illness, alcoholism, whether you know it or not. And once you're in that bondage, it's very hard to escape. It is very hard. For me, it takes something like being near dead, because, I went to jail. It never stopped me. We were near divorce. It didn't stop me from drinking. But it took something major. And, they told me a couple of years back in Knoxville, I ended up in the hospital. And when they released me 4 days later, I asked them, Mr. Rogers, you're very close to stroking out.
Wow.
You were going to have a heart attack, a seizure. We are very concerned. You were very, very close to being dead. And what did I do? As soon as they released me, I had a little bit of money. I went straight and got a drink. After them telling me that. And right back within 2 weeks in the same position, and that really got my attention. It really opened up my eyes that, man, he has some plan. I don't try to figure it out. I don't try to figure him out. I just know, he's there. And, like I said, I made a little money. I was able to help somebody yesterday. It made me feel useful again. And all I was doing is pulling weeds.
Yeah.
But it's just something like that,
I love what you're doing right now, that you're trying to do better, get better from your situation. Some people just don't care about their life, and they don't even know what's happening. They're just either, as you said, on drugs.
Truly don't know the value of it. I've lived in Michigan, I've lived in Virginia, Nashville, Knoxville, here. And, I don't let it go to my head, but I have countless people always coming up to me and said, man, I really appreciate what you shared. I really needed to hear that. And I don't let it go through my head. I just share my experience, strength, and hope. I try to be honest. I share from here.
Yeah.
I was in Nashville chairing a meeting, and this lady comes up to me and she goes, hi, Brian. And I didn't know who she was. She goes, I was at a meeting 3 months ago, and I was ready to say that, I'm done. And She said, what you shared really opened up my eyes. And she celebrated 6 months.
Wow.
And I don't know what I shared, I just shared my experience, strength, and hope. And it's nice to know that I touched somebody. Because I know what it's like. You're at that point where, that drink is really pulling you. And many times I've given in to it.
Yeah.
Many times. This time, I'm done. I've had enough. I'm done.
I can tell you something, Mr. Brian. It's that this says a lot about you, and I could say this short time that we've been talking, I could say that you seem to be a great person, a great human being that trying to do better, and that says a lot about you.
I try.
Yeah. Thank you, Brian. Actually, I'm just gonna give you something, because
God bless you.
thank you for your time. I appreciate your story.
Thank you.
And
it's nice meeting you.
yes. Well, I'm gonna keep walking. Thank you. Have a blessed day.
Thank you. You too.